So in this video, I'm going to have a look at this old pasture field. We don't know when it was reseeded last. It's over 80 years ago, since my family's been on the farm. And this year I have tried to oversow, or have oversowed, some herbs into the pasture, and that hasn't worked too badly. I've got a few, this is some chicory here. You can see there's other bits of clovers and all sorts of things. But what I'm talking about in this video is the grazing management of ewes. So these are pretty much all my ewes, 90 ewes here. It is all of them actually, apart from two, which is a long story why they're not here. But one of them lambed and the other one jumps the fence. So I guess not a long story actually. Anyway, so we got 90 ewes here. They were weaned in August, and it's the 23rd of October. They've been grazing in this pasture for since the 1st of October, so just over 3 weeks. And before that they were somewhere else for 2 weeks doing pretty much the same thing on a wetter field, and for the 3 weeks before that they were in this field as well. So grazing at roughly an acre a week, giving them fresh every day and moving the fence, back fence, so that they don't stay on anything for longer than 3 days. That's what I've done for the last 3 weeks, and I'll show you it's a bit different before. But there's a lot of grass here. Nothing had grazed this field since beginning of July, so there's a lot of grass here. It's not our best pasture, and obviously when they were with lambs, I wanted them on the good grass, so I saved this for when they were weaned. Now when I weaned them, they were pretty much the right body condition for going to ram, so I didn't want them to put on any condition, and so I've kept them pretty tight, trying to graze the grass down as tight as we can, but it is obviously fairly rough. So the sun's coming out, lovely, beautiful October morning, and they're doing a pretty good job. So I moved them into this bit yesterday morning. I did have a little issue. Something must have spooked them in the night, and they did go through the fence. So they were full. That's the first time they've gone through the fence actually, for a long time. I don't know quite what caused it, but they are on a fairly small piece, so maybe a deer or a fox or something just spooked them, and they ran through it. But they're pretty well trained. Other than that, there's one strand here, so they haven't eaten this as good as what they normally do by the next morning. So I tend to try to move them every 1 or 2 days, and I give them fresh by moving the fence once or twice a day as well. So you can see I just moved this morning. I don't know if you can see a slightly different line there, only about 5 minutes ago, and they've already tucked into that. But you can see they're not hungry. They're not hungry. The grass is not great quality, and they've maintained or lost a tiny bit of condition since I weaned them. Some of them have lost a bit of condition. It's very difficult when you've got 90 ewes in the same group to keep them all at exactly the right body condition that you want them to be in to go to ram. But I'm going to go through them in the next couple of weeks. They'll be going to ram around about 3 weeks, and once I've gone through them all, we'll get rid of any that are old or poor body condition, because they obviously aren't suiting the system. So I've got some minerals in there, just some dry minerals, and they just ad-lib that. So anyway, this is just going to be a little walk around, looking at what it looks like now. So obviously this is where they were yesterday morning, and already they ate this down obviously a lot better. I guess with the sun it makes it awkward to see now, but anyway, won't complain about the sunshine. Don't see a lot of it in October. And then this is where they were a couple of days before that, and already we can see some regrowth here, and obviously lots and lots of manure. So even though this was really long, and it's not typical that I would leave it to go this long, but just the way it happened this year, we had so much grass, I just kept them on the fresh stuff, and didn't need this, so I thought this is what I'll do with it now. And it's worked quite well, obviously keeping the ewes fairly tight. And as we walk along, this has been so this was about a week ago once we get over to here, and so this is the regrowth in a week at the end of October. And obviously it was hammered pretty tight, and there was a lot of long grass here, so it was really really quite thick in the bottom, so it's going to take longer to recover than if it was freshly cut. Over here it does look a little bit greener. I don't know if you can tell that with the sun. But this bit here I did actually graze around about the end of August, just this one strip up through there with the lambs. They just came in here and just grazed that one strip, and then I thought this isn't good enough quality for them, so I took them out, and then that's when the ewes were down in that part of the field over there. This is actually a field we lamb in, and you can see here that herbs are recovering here as well. And also in this hedge we've got some ash which have got dieback, and some of the limbs that are overhanging, I did cut those down and I fed those to the sheep as well while they were here on this bit. So this bit here has been pretty much 2 weeks. You can see the recovery, 2 weeks. And then we're going to come down across. I don't think the sun is helping really to see what the recovery's like. You can see there's herbs recovering as well. The main thing really was grazing it, not giving them too long on the same pieces, just to make sure they don't hammer the herbs, so they recover, and I can see quite a few recovering here, so that's good. And this bit here would be 3 weeks. So this is the bit that they came on first, on the 1st of October. And you can see there's good lot of herbs recovering here. And then I'll take you over to the bit where they were. So they were away for 2 or 3 weeks of last 2 or 3 weeks of September. When I weaned them, I brought them in here. So this would have been, I think they were in this bit for, it's about 3 acres that they were on for 3 weeks, and I didn't run a back fence on this. And the reason for that was because I hadn't put herbs on this bit in the spring. So what I did was I didn't run a back fence. I let them really hammer the pasture, which is bad for the pasture. But I needed to get the herb seeds in. And so after they'd grazed it down pretty tight, I came in and broadcast the herb seeds, rolled them down, left them on it for another few days, and this is the recovery of that. So you can see the dung piles, which you don't normally see in my pasture. It's not normally noticeable, but it is because they really hammered the grass all over. Not just, they didn't leave the dung piles, but they hammered the grass all over, but it's recovered better where the dung piles are. So there you can see the herbs have come pretty good from grazing it down tight. What a lovely morning. So there they are up there. They've got about two acres that haven't grazed yet, so about 2 weeks left, and then they'll be going on an upward plane from then on, move them into some better grass just before they go to ram. So thought we'd just have a quick look around. And this field, just as a side note as well, planning on planting trees in here for silvopasture, along with 3 other fields this winter, if all goes to plan. And so this is going to be the last autumn of this field with no trees in it, and this is what it looks like. So nice before, chance to do a little before sweep as well. Okay, I'll see you directly.